happening? How's everybody doing this week? Okay, get myself situated on my little seat here, and I will once again try to figure out how to bring someone on with me. I think it's here. This is always the fun part, getting everything together. I'm doing well over here. Finished a little workout action, doing our thing in the mornings. We're lucky. We got some nice weather happening out here, so thankful for that for sure. Okay, I'm trying to find my guest here. Okay, trying to figure this out. Let me get it. It always seems like a million hours too that you're on here and that you're not connecting with the guest. And then I'm just, staring at all of you guys. Back in here. I'm live, yeah, but we're also doing lives at the same time, Sue and I. I'm live, but I'm looking for my guest. Nice bag. So she's coming soon. Hello. Okay. Get back in my request. Also, my mom told me that I touch my face too much and that it's inappropriate in these COVID times. But thanks, Mom. I got connections at RЄset, so I got that early drop on the crew. Okay, for real though, let me get in these. It's alright, we're just letting people get in. Bear with us here. Any more adult tantrums? Yeah, of course. One tantrum a day keeps COVID away. You gotta let yourself feel, especially when you're locked in an apartment or you're growing your hair out. Well, it's growing, that's for sure. I'm not sure if I'm growing it out, but it's gonna be the end result of all of this until Sue learns how to give me a fire haircut. Here.
We made it.
Yeah.
The funny thing is they wanted to do like an apology before this to like make sure I knew what I was doing. And I was like, I got it. I don't need to expect for the IG live. And what do you know?
Okay, I'm still, for some reason I can't view this request.
And then, but here we are. We made it.
Oh, nope, not that.
Yeah, you too. I'm still on the ball.
Gonna figure this out.
Yeah, looking good.
Oh, that's questions. riveting 6 minutes of your day, I bet. See it. Right. It's amazing how every time I do this, I can't figure it out. It's actually shocking. Yes, Cecily's in here, and I will find her, but it is not allowing me to view the people who have sent requests to be in my video. So, this is good. It's like I see that people are requesting, but it won't let me click on it.
So at first I would go outside to the park. There's a park down the street, that's the casa, whatever. Then they closed all parks, like cooking on rims, that kind of
He's
stuff.
dropping that
So,
Sue. I know, she's talking in the background.
And that's when I started doing a home workout. I'm actually an investor, so I'm just gonna like put that out there.
I know.
But yeah, it's filtered. But it's actually like no joke. It's like a real
Yeah,
way
it just
where,
won't
like,
let me
there's
click.
games on there. I play with my nieces actually. And then you can actually, if you do it right, get like a pretty decent workout.
Restart the live. Okay, I'm gonna end this and start it again. So just come right back.
With it also in the back of your head, like, okay, if it did happen, not tomorrow, but if it does happen in a month or 2 months,
Filing back in.
you want to keep like some sort of, you know, sharpness
I
to
think
your
I
brain,
have
even though there's always
it.
that.
Do I?
Oh,
Hey!
wow.
That's what's up.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I literally have done probably 8 to 10 of these, like in the past 1 minute, and it's every time I go on, I'm like, there's literally only like 3 things that you can do, and I'm doing them.
This
Hold
feels
on.
like a parade. This is the biggest accomplishment, probably, of my month.
Seriously, I know it's hard to get on this thing. The world, Cecily Strong here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
joining
me.
us. Oh my gosh, we're so thrilled to have you on. We are huge fans of yours.
Likewise.
Just in general. I remember meeting you in the tunnel. I think it was Pasadena.
Yep, yeah.
You came to one of our games right after the World Cup.
Dressed as a lunatic.
Yeah, dressed as a Looney Tune, the only way to come. But we are so very thankful to have you on.
Glad to be here.
We have been starting these with like a moment of grounding. And as I've said every time, I'm getting a little bit better. There's a couple other people in our company that when we have our live events, they do them and they're like a million times better than I am. But I will do my best to do our moment of grounding. So we kind of start with just closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths. And Sue is in the back. Just kind of feel your surroundings. Let your feet hit the floor. Let the sounds around you just kind of fade away. Deep breath in and out. Okay. Welcome back. Ready for our conversation.
Ready to do it.
Yes. So I don't know if you know this about but we've done a few what we call these Rṟet, the table events. It's really for us, it's all about gathering, bringing people together from all different, walks of life and industries, and just having some meaningful, sort of provocative conversation and hearing people out and getting that different perspective, but then really kind of like arming people with some energy going back out. So unfortunately, we cannot be gathering right now at all. So we've moved it onto IG Live. And we talked the other day in preparation for this, and I think during this time, it's obviously an uncertain time. It's a stressful time for some. People are like, in a light sense, wondering like, what the fuck am I gonna do with all this time? And then people in a heavier sense are having to deal with a lot. And your vulnerability and your willingness to just sort of speak openly about this moment that you're in, especially being who you are. I think we normally know you as someone on SNL, as someone who's a comedian who entertains us, who brings this joy to our lives, but also you're a full person who's dealing with a lot. So just tell us a little bit about your experience through this and how you're doing in this moment.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, I think it's important to note, I was like, I'm going to do, my table is my bed because I've been in bed a lot. So I just wanted to point that out.
Perfect.
And then I thought, so we talked and we had a really great conversation. And then last night I emailed you guys because I found out that a friend of ours at work had passed away of COVID. And it was like, I said, I'm absolutely still willing to do this as long as you guys are okay with that, because it was like, I know there's so many people, because it was like, I remember I saw like a little news blurb. It was the highest number of deaths. It was 700 or something that night in New York. And it was like, oh, Hal was one of the 700. And I'm just one of the people grieving Hal. And it was like, so it's weird that it's like time feels like it's kind of standing still and we can't do much and everything's moving really slowly. But then I felt yesterday that, wow, but we kind of have to grieve really quickly. And so I just thought it was really nice and great of you guys to still, I thought it was important to be here and be like, let myself, like, here I am and I'm sad about Hal. But I still have to be here, and I'm glad to be here and talk with you guys, and it means a lot.
Well, I mean, it means the world for us that you still wanted to come on, but I think it touches this sort of bigger feeling, or this bigger, I guess, fallout from COVID right now, is that first of all, I think there's multiple traumas happening to people. Some people are getting really sick personally, and they're having to deal with that, and they're scared, and they don't know, and maybe they have insurance, maybe they don't, maybe they know the hospital system, maybe they don't. Then there's people who are having family members or loved ones or partners or friends getting really sick, and you can't go see them. And so that's kind of a trauma. And, some people are having financial difficulties, or they're having whatever it is, and then we're isolated. And a lot of people are isolated alone, or with very few people. So I feel like that is just a bigger conversation that is being had maybe less. I think a lot of people are trying to find ways to be like, oh, what am I doing? Spend my time at home on Instagram. And like, I'm doing that too. And I've been really lucky. I haven't, had any of those really serious personal tragedies, but I'm just wondering ways that you are, I guess, finding ways to grieve and, sort of literally and figuratively taking that next step kind of forward, and how can people maybe look to you or just kind of band together to continue to grieve, but also take care of themselves.
Yeah. Well, I think taking care of yourself is a big one. I mean, it's really been a day by day for me. I was in New York after being exposed. I mean, someone I was really close to had it like very early on, couldn't get a test, so just had to assume we had it. And I quarantined for 14 days and was panicking, like with a thermometer in my ear alone, with, having to check. And I have anxiety, and it's like anxiety symptoms are similar to pneumonia. So being so scared and being scared of the water in my pipes, and it was just really traumatic, sort of. And going through that, and then there was another girl. Then I could help this other girl whose mom was sick, and it was like, at least I can be a voice on the end of a phone and tell you, here's articles that helped me to read. It's just, there's a lot of fear and anxiety. And then as I started writing, and I wound up, I lost my cousin in January to glioblastoma, and I hadn't had the time really to grieve him. And I've written a lot about him over this break, and it's been, that was actually how I've been sort of able to deal with this time. To sort of like process that grief, because like he's a very good example of living with something scary and but still living. So I'm kind of using him as my role model right now. He fell in love during that time. He danced, he sang, so it's kind of and it's like the first time I've been able to open up and to myself really and about him. But I think taking care of yourself is a big thing, and being patient with yourself and being patient with others. And I think there was an article, some chef, and it was like, empathy is what will get us through this. And I think that really spoke to me.
I
want,
agree.
because I think like people want to laugh, and I get that, and I'm like, trust me, I want to make you laugh, and I want to be in a place that I'm able to. And so it's like, I have to be patient with myself so I can be in a place where I can do my part,
Exactly. Yeah. One of the things that we were kind of thinking about for this conversation is the idea of renew. And, we're obviously at some point we will come out of this, but it's kind of like, what drains you, and then how do you counteract that? And depending on where you are in your process as a person, you might be drained in the moment, which means you need a little more from someone else, or you might be kind of on the other side of things. And now, how do we start thinking, what can we bring for other people? How can we show up in their lives? How can we, show them empathy? Sometimes people just need to know that someone, feels them, that someone, even though they can't come over or say it, they can kind of give them just that little bit of something that will put them on the first step of beginning to come out of this. And I think a lot of people are feeling, it's hard. It's like there's like these physical things compounded with these mental things happening right now, where you're sort of physically confined to your space, and you might feel mentally or emotionally confined to a certain space. And sometimes it just takes that person breaking through and saying, you know what, I'm in an okay place right now, and how can I be of service to you, so we can all come out of this kind of as a whole. And you basically do this for a living. You bring joy to people. You bring, that sort of thing that they can count on every day. And this just might be a time where we need to take care of you a little bit. So I just appreciate so much your vulnerability in all of this.
It's just, even you guys sent a message, and it was like on a kind of a low day, and it was like, even you reaching out was like, wow, that's so sweet for them to check up on me. And little things like that, mean a lot. Just kindness goes a long way right now. And I think even if that's all you have to give, that's a lot to somebody that maybe you don't realize.
Yeah, it really is. I feel like maybe that's our answer to, how do we renew, and how do we take the next step, is just maybe you're giving us a step to someone else.
Yes. And about being drained, I'm the worst. I get drained easily. I'll let myself be bothered by so much bullshit that I shouldn't. And again, this is where I'm like using my cousin as my North Star kind of. And it's like, I absolutely don't have the energy right now. And it's like, I don't know where these people are coming from. It's like, add on to the trolls, people who are also scared and coming from a weird place. So it's like even more. So I just really have to focus on really like drowning, not listening, and just staying focused on being kind to myself and being kind to others. And and I get to do this today with you, which means a lot, you know.
Oh, we love having you. We
My
love having you.
heroes.
No.
I get to talk to my hero.
We love having you. Yeah, I think that's the message for today. It's either like, if you're not in a position or have the emotional energy to reach out to someone, then be kind to yourself and
Yeah.
show that love to yourself. And if you do have that energy to reach out and extend more, you know, that's the currency that we have in abundance, that we can all give. We won't be waiting on those stimulus checks for the kindness
No.
and for the abundance that we have. We have the ability to print that as many times over as we want. So from our Reing family, we're extending that to you. We're so thankful and appreciative that you were on here. Rest in peace to your amazing friend. I'm sure not only the SNL family, but the world at large will miss him so much.
He's in a rock and roll, outer space,
yeah.
hippie heaven somewhere.
He's intergalactic living life.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, thank you so much
Thank
again.
you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you on the other side of this.
Yes, me
All
too.
right.
I'm going to see you play again.
Yes, sometime.
Dressed up like an asshole. Me, not you.
exactly. Cool. All right.
All right.
Well, take care, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.